Welcome to the maddening world of P.S. Gifford. Are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then I shall begin. Today's lesson is called The Redheaded Stranger by P.S. Gifford. I did not think I was going to catch the bus. I had stayed longer at my friend's house that evening than I anticipated, as we passionately debated politics while consuming glass after glass of a particularly vulgar red wine. I must admit, however, that by the third generous measure I had started to warm up to the wine's apparent clandestine charm. But I had neglected the time, and suddenly I realized that the last bus was about due. I hastily said goodbye, put on my overcoat and gloves, and chased out my friend's flat and down the street. It was an inhospitable January night, and my lungs stung with every breath. The gusting, bitterly cold air bit into my exposed face with greedy venom. I started to jog in desperation, yet several agonizing minutes later, as I round the corner to the main street, my jogging had been reduced to nothing more than a hasty walk. Each breath became increasingly painful, and I nervously glanced at my watch. It was already 5 minutes past the scheduled time for the bus to arrive. Just as I was about to give up, I committed myself to the 8-mile walk home. The bus came into view, puffing out of a fog of diesel vapors in its wake. It was behind schedule. Luck had not forsaken me. I renewed my jogging, despite the excruciating pain in my left side and the overwhelming impulse to vomit. A greyish, nondescript man climbed off, and the bus immediately began to pull out again. I waved my arms and attempted to get the driver's attention, even though I knew that the chances he would stop again were only 50-50, even if he did see me. Some bus drivers relish in tormenting commuters. However, to my immense relief, the bus stopped, and once again its doors opened with a swish. Moments later, I made it to the stop just as a wall of sleet began to descend from the heavens. I nodded in thankfulness to the driver as I climbed on, trying desperately to recapture my breath. He nodded back as the door slid shut behind me, cocooning me from the harsh weather. I fumbled in my jeans pocket for my wallet and shut in my bus pass. As I returned the wallet to my back pocket, my eyes instinctively scanned the lower level of the bus, and I discovered that it was empty. Despite this, I still decided to sit upstairs, something I've had a habit of doing ever since I was a small child. I find the view from the top of the double-decker bus strangely empowering as I watch the world whiz by, like it was a movie and nothing is truly real. As soon as my head emerged from the stairwell, I saw that I was not the only passenger on the bus after all. There was a woman perched on the back seat of the upper deck, and I sat on the seat adjacent to the stairwell at right angles to her. She appeared in every respect, with no exception of a vibrant red hair. Yet there was something about her generally unremarkable appearance that piqued my curiosity. Maybe it was the way her auburn hair was pulled back into a ponytail, framing her freckled face with impecable precision. On the other hand, perhaps it was that she was wearing very little makeup for this part of town, just some light mascara about her green eyes and a fine coat of softly hued red lipstick. The red-headed girl was fully immersed in an old tattered book and was holding it in such a way that I could not make out the title, despite my best efforts. Something about my inquisitive gaze must have alerted her, for she suddenly made contact with me. All at once I felt ashamed, for I realized that I had been staring at her. How might she interpret my gaze? She squinted at me, and for a moment I detected a hint of fear in those green eyes. She was a young, delicate woman, no more than 22 years of age, I imagine. And as for me, well, I passed my 22nd birthday twice over by now. My long hair and scraggy beard was known to startle people even in the best of circumstances. And a night bus containing just 2 passengers and a driver certainly was not one of those. Nevertheless, the red-headed girl said nothing and resumed reading her book, or at least she pretended to. I continued to watch her, albeit more subtly, for another 10 minutes or so, and she never once turned a page. I suspected that she wanted to glare up at me, or perhaps even say something to me. I could detect a sense of uneasiness in her agitated tapping of her leather-gloved fingers on the book cover. Or perhaps it was just the red wine that hazed my reasoning. We sat like this for 7 minutes, as the bus sped along the deserted streets and past several empty bus stops. I noticed that my bus stop was approaching, and I felt somewhat relieved that the game was about to end. I buttoned my coat once more, bracing myself to face the bitter elements head-on as I could see the sleet and wind were about to once more furiously greet me. I pondered my walk home with dismay. even though it was only a half mile. But soon I will be sipping a mug of cocoa while I soaked in a hot bath. As I was about to get up from my seat, I noticed with some concern that the woman was also tightening her clothing and slipped a brightly coloured wooden hat on. Her eyes looked directly at me as she stood up. Pulled the string to signal the driver to stop and began to make her way down the aisle. Her eyes were focused firmly on the bus floor as she passed me, but I could sense that she was attempting to scrutinise me out of the corner of her eye. I finally managed to catch the title of the book she'd been reading. It was an old horror anthology. The poetic sense of circumstances amused me, and I could not help but laugh out aloud. I can only imagine what a late-night bus rider's imagination could conjure up after being fed a diet of horror fiction. Why, to her eyes, I might even be the very devil himself. As she quickly descended the stairwell, I too rose from my seat, and I swear she physically flinched. I followed her down the staircase. She made a thank you to the driver, and I might thanks him as well, and with that we both left the warm sanctuary of the bus. Still without making any eye contact, she headed left as the bus disappeared into the swirling darkness. Unfortunately, my home was also to the left, and I actually wondered for a moment if I could take the long way home. But the cold night air was once more painfully filling my lungs, and I realized I was being asinine. After all, I had done nothing wrong, and it was merely fate that had brought us together on that last bus of the evening. So after giving her 100 feet head start, I snuffed myself. She must have sensed me walking behind her, for her pace noticeably quickened. Try as I might to increase distance between us, I found that I somehow managed to keep within sight. Perhaps this is my subconscious. Maybe I was achieving some perverse gratification in her obvious anxiety. The notion I instilled fear into a total stranger who enjoyed reading horror was strangely empowering. Even the brusque, icy air did not seem to sting as much while I relished on that satisfying thought. I watched her slip her gloved hand into her coat pocket and retrieve a mobile phone. She had stopped walking for a moment as she pressed a few keys and placed the phone to her ear. Whom was she calling? A boyfriend? Her father? Or maybe even the police? But so what? I had done nothing wrong. This time, anyway. At this moment, I could not help but remember the very instant I had always struggled to suppress, the one where I was hitting Jennifer with my fists. I had gotten drunk and she made me very, very angry. Tears welled up my eyes and I recalled how I punched the only woman I had ever loved. Over and over again, because she had scorched my favourite shirt whilst ironing for me. She too had called the police, and they came and took me away. I spent 6 hellacious months locked up for my little indiscretion of temper. They don't take kindly to women beaters in prison either. I lost my girl, I lost my job, and I lost my freedom. All because I could not contain my own temper. It wasn't if I had killed her. I broke her nose, certainly, but she was still alive and recovered quite nicely as I understand it. But that shirt had been mighty fine once, and now it was rubbish. The problem was I had also been left with a police record. This unfortunate incident had happened 15 years ago, but I knew that if the police arrived on the scene, they would treat me as it happened just last week. Tears were still flowing down my cheeks as I once more studied the Redheaded girl, who had put that phone away by now. I imagined police silence filling the silence of the night at any moment. Then 3 squad cars would pull up, screeching to a halt. 6 big, bullying officers would jump out all at once, kick me to the ground and handcuff me the way they did in those action-filled scenes from a bad 70s cop show. Instead, what happened was simply unexpected. I have to keep reminding myself that this is true, no matter how surreal it seems. Even as I sit here relaying the story, I find myself second-guessing my memory. For suddenly, out of the darkness appeared a dark figure, wearing a balaclava helmet and an anorak jacket. His movements were fast and jerky, but he jumped out of nowhere from behind the red-headed girl and smashed a bottle over her coloured hat. He was about to start dragging her off when I called out for him to stop. Apparently, he did not see me walking just 100 feet behind the woman, due to the weather on the poorly lit street. But as soon as he saw me, he dropped into her now lit body and began to run. For a moment, I considered giving him a road chase and beating him to a pulp upon catching him. However, he was surely in much finer physical shape than I was. Probably no more than a teenager. Besides, even by some miracle I did wrest him to the pavement, more than likely he was carrying a knife or some other kind of weapon. So instead, I watched the perpetrator run away, and then my thoughts naturally turned to the red-headed woman, who lay bleeding on the street in front of me. Suddenly I seemed impervious to the cold. No doubt my adrenaline was fending it off. I took off my jacket and placed it under her head. Her multicoloured hat was quickly becoming a solid shade of red. She needed help, and she needed it fast. Then I remembered that she had a cell phone, and instinctively I reached into her jacket pocket to retrieve it. As I was about to call for help, however, the woman's eyes suddenly opened wide. I have never seen so much fear in a person's eyes before, not even Jennifer's eyes. "Get off me," she screamed. "Get the hell away from me." There, miss," I said. I tried to calm her. "Everything will be all right." Yet this seemed only to agitate her further, for she began to flail her arms at me and managed to catch my left eye with her fist. "Why'd you do this to me?" she screamed. "I knew you were a fucker the first time I ever saw you on the bus leaving at me. What are you, some kind of pervert? Or just some twisted motherfucking madman?" That last word echoed in my brain for a few seconds. Madman, madman, madman. It was then that my situation became perilously clear to me. The redheaded girl believed that I had done this to her, and with a prior conviction on my record, I was doomed. It was then that my situation became... No, I was trying to save you," I said, and I grabbed hold of her arms. I felt my eye ache. "Okay, mister, do whatever you want, but please don't kill me." Her tone was softer now, almost pleading. Still, I knew that there was only one way I had a chance of getting out of this twisted predicament. And as my hands found her throat, her eyes opened wider, and that I could believe possible as they began to tighten around the soft skin. "No," she screamed. "Tighter." "No," she murmured in not much more than a whisper. "Tighter still." "No," she mouthed as the body became limp. Once she had stopped breathing for a few minutes, I let go of my grasp of the redheaded girl. Then I looked at my gloved hand almost as if they belonged to someone else. I collected my coat from under her head, slipped it on, and simply walked home as if nothing had happened. It was 3 days later when I heard about the arrest. Apparently an 18-year-old punk by the name of Eric White had been apprehended and charged with 4 counts of rape, possession of drugs, and more significantly, 1 murder. They had found a broken bottle by the redheaded girl's body with his fingerprints on it, and that poor bastard was going to be put away for a very, very long time. There is a human need to share one's problems, hence I chose to tell you my account. But before you judge me too harshly, might I ask you one pertinent question? What would you have done?